he just came in and basically said he's still expecting 2 rate cuts. So I usually don't do this, but we had 2 pieces of breaking news today. Usually we don't do this, but let's get over to what the Federal Reserve, one of the people that sit on the Federal Reserve, has to say about these numbers and what he expects in rate cuts, because this is important for us to figure out where rates are going from here.
I'm here.
If we're talking about this, you might as well tell us what he said.
I'm going to tell you what he said. Exactly. Really interesting comments, by the way. First on what he says about policy and then the why on the policy. He sees a possible first cut in September. He maintains his outlook for 2 cuts this year, but he's adjustable on that. He says the tariff impact could be delayed or it could be less than expected, and provides interesting reasons why both could be true. First, he says companies could be finding ways to avoid tariffs, adjusting their supply routes to find lower effective tariff paths. The actual tariff rate so far, he calculates, is actually closer to 8%. Which is triple the current rate, but smaller than the actual headline tariff rates that have been out there. Monetary policy, he says, should focus not on the actual shock to the economy, not the headline announcement in some of the political pronouncements. On the other hand, he says it could be delayed. Notes, only cargo loaded on ships after April 5th has been subject to these reciprocal tariffs, and imports can take 45 days and then longer to hit the retail shelves. So higher tariff goods may only now be making their way to customers, which would explain a delayed impact of the tariffs. Fed should not commit to easing policy in case tariff effects are delayed. If tariff inflation appears later, the Fed can cut and then stay on hold. So it's a pretty interesting, he doesn't give you an...
So even the Federal Reserve officials don't really know what they're going to do. But if we go over to the Federal Reserve, what they're expected to do, in 33 days, they're meeting again. And now this number keeps going up a little bit. The July, September rate through here, it's now at a 73% chance they're going to cut rates, because here's where the federal funds rate is right now, at 4.25 to 4.5. It's expected to stay there at the July meeting, 80% chance. But then the numbers are turning from there, and it's looking like still maybe 2 rate cuts in the cards. So that's what we're seeing across the board right through there.